So I just wanted to go ahead and take a moment here and say thank you to, those of you that took the time out of your day to, reach out to me and, make sure I was doing all right. We all face adversities in our life, right? And we all face these obstacles, right? And, even just in the last half hour, I faced some obstacles. I got pulled over last week because I need a new muffler. And being a new muffler, you have a quote-unquote muffler violation, right? Because of the emissions. And I get it. You gotta be respectful. And you gotta make sure you're being respectful to the community you live in, right? So, I dropped my car off this morning. And I'm getting that new muffler done. Right? The reason I didn't get the muffler done with the car is I had other issues with the car. I had to have the master brake cylinder fixed. I had to have the power steering fixed back in August. And both of those things went out this same day. And you know what? It was unfortunate. And back in August, this issue I was having with my car with the master brake cylinder. And I don't know anything about cars, but that's what they told me. The master brake cylinder and the power steering went out. Obviously, you need brakes to drive a car. Arguably, it's the most important part. Your car, take care of it. You got a good car. And good's a relative term, right? You're going to be all right, but it needs to be able to stop. So I got that taken care of first. And the power steering. I've driven vehicles without power steering before, and the right vehicle makes sense. But for my car, it didn't, right? And it wasn't about me not being able to drive the car without the power steering, but rather the fact that I want to be respectful to people in my community if I were to keep driving a car without power steering, right? Because, if I were to get in an accident and power steering my car didn't work legally, and if I knew about it, right? I knew about it, if I ignored the issue, or if I ignored the obstacle, I should say, right? It wasn't an issue, it was an obstacle. It wasn't something that was going to stop me forever. It was something that was going to temporarily hold me back, for that month, for the month of August of 2024. And, I just paid all my bills. And, I had about, whatever I had, $2,000 in the bank, emergency fund. I was like, all right, man, doing all right, taking the right steps, doing what I got to do, right? Shit goes wrong with the car, which is inevitable. It's an older car. It's going to happen, right? And these parts that I mentioned, they're the original parts on an older vehicle, right? They're bound to fail eventually, right? That doesn't mean the car is going to fail. So I didn't know where to go. Took it to the guy I was having work on my car, and I kind of needed this stuff done quickly. I was like, listen, man, there's just one guy. He's like, listen, I can do this, but probably about 2 or 3 weeks. I was like, all right. Can I wait the 2 or 3 weeks? And the time I thought I couldn't, right? The time I thought I couldn't wait the 2 or 3 weeks. And in retrospect, I could have. But I really want to get my car back on the road for, a number of reasons. Obviously, you use your car and, other vehicles, your feet, to get around. Tell like, fuck, dude. Where do I take my car? Google, right? Who's got some good reviews? And I found this place called, I think it's MM Car Care. Specifically the one in Hobart. I met the manager there. It's not the owner, he's the manager, and his name's Craig. And Craig's a good guy. And you know what? I dropped my car off today and I had to get this muffler, and my plan was to Uber to work. I was gonna pay $70, $80 to Uber to work to make $1.30. At that point I'm giving up 6-7 hours of my life to net $50. I value my time more than that. My free time, because we all gotta work to pay our bills, but I was in that place tried calling my bank. Their office ain't even open yet. It was 8:30 and the office opens at 9. I got a little frustrated. I was like, man, come on. Because, my account was overdrafted a little bit. How much, it don't matter. Just a little bit. And, it's about having the cash on hand. But, I had the money in my savings, right? So, all right, let me see if I can use that. But no, my bank locked my account. And I was kind of mad. I was like, man, it's my money. But, it's my money, but it's in their account. It's in their bank. And, although I was frustrated at first a little bit, I was kind of happy they didn't let the payment go through, because, I was valuing the convenience. I was valuing the convenience of having access to those funds within that 30 minutes, from 8:30 to 9 this morning. And I thought to myself, do I really value convenience that much? No. I took my car, which we know about the first, the second, and the third place, right? The first place is yourself, your mind, your body, your health, your wealth, your house, and arguably your car, and your household, and your family and the people in it. But also your car, your car, or your bicycle, or whatever, Shoelace Express, whatever means of transportation you may use primarily. There's an extension of yourself. And I was talking to Craig, and I was like, man, I gotta call off today. And I grew up in the whole hustle culture, and you gotta work 24/7. And Craig agreed, and Craig said he's a bit of a workaholic himself, and you just hear him saying it, like, aholic, like, and you put anything else in front of it, it'd be a bad thing, right? I'm not saying working is a bad thing, you gotta work, but you can't overwork yourself. And it's okay if you call off once every 3 years, But sometimes you gotta put yourself, your health, your wealth, your family, your home, your well-being, and your car about $50, and so I don't know. If you need some car work done, you're in the area, I'd go talk to my boy Craig. He's gonna take good care of it. It's just a muffler, parts coming in. I'll probably have the car back today, right? So I'm not gonna have the car between 9 a.m. maybe 2 p.m., right? 5 hours out of my life. So I'm not gonna have this car for 5 hours out of my life. And those 5 hours out of my life, I was about to just go work. But for what? And I wasn't, because of the cost it would have took me to get to work today, Uber or whatever, or if I had to call a friend and throw him some money to get me to work, it wouldn't have been worth it. So, I feel like I lived most of my life full foot on the gas pedal. And a wise man once told me I was doing too much. And at the time it didn't make sense. I was a waiter. And I lived off tips. But it's not lived off tips. It doesn't mean I had to make the tips dictate my life and my work life, right? Because I knew what I signed up for day one when I took the job. Because you're gonna have the tables that take care of you a little bit, and you're gonna have the tables that take care of you a lot of it, and you're gonna have the tables that fuck you over, and fuck them, and not worth your time. And you can't be doing too much for other people that don't value your time, because then you're not valuing your time. If that makes sense. So I was taught you never call off, and you always work, and sometimes shit happens, and sometimes you have to call off one day. And I think if you're honest and you communicate that, it is what it is. So I had to drop my car off, and we're taking the Shoelace Express for the next 5 hours, but I can do that, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to do that. So I don't know. I think I just gotta take a step back and look at things from a different perspective.